Sorry, y'all. My damn mic wasn't on. So I gotta go through all that again. So, welcome to Marcus Speaks Play, the very podcast that gives you trending topics and other random stuff. I'm your host, Marcus. Please like this video, share this video, comment in the live chat, and please subscribe. If you could, hit that bell icon to all. This here podcast comes on every... I'm sorry, hold on. This podcast comes on every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was late today, but don't hold it against me. Saturdays I usually don't stream anymore, unless I say so. But don't forget to come and check me out on Friday. Once you have subscribed to this here channel, subscribe right now. Please, please, please. Go to the description box, find the Rumble link. Hit the Rumble link and follow me over on Rumble. I don't know how many people I need. I don't know how many people I need right now to start streaming over there. Let me check right now. I have 16 subscribers over there. So if you could do me that favor and follow me over on Rumble, I only need 25 to stream. So if you could go over there, please. The next, 11 people to go over there, or 9 people to go over there. Please follow me over on Rumble if you could. If you want to come up and talk to me, you can by hitting that link that is pinned in the live chat. That being said, wait for me to tell you when to come up. All right? Don't just see the link like, oh shit, I can be on the show. No, you have to wait for me to say so. All right? Because with that comes rules. Those rules are, rule number 1, you must be on camera at all times. That means here on the backstage. That person who was here, knowing that, he would have known you have to be on camera. Secondly, if you don't want to be on camera, that means to the public, you still have to follow rule number 1, all right? There's a question back here that I want you to answer, a yes or no question along with your name. Don't make it a conversation. Just yes or no in your name, and I'll further accommodate you from there. All right? And rule number 3 is mute all background noise. Please use recorded headphones and go to a nice secluded spot in your house so we can have this conversation. You can debate me. You can yell at me. You can fill me in on something that I didn't know. You can hypothesize, philosophize. You can do whatever the hell you want as long as it's in the realm of the topics that I am talking about tonight. All right? I don't restrict anybody from talking with it that they want, but please be respectful to myself and people in the chat. Please be respectful to everyone in the chat. And then lastly, please like this video, subscribe to this here YouTube channel, comment in the live chat, and please, please, please share this to your social medias, friends and family, and whomever else that you love. If you have ever watched my show, you know that I like playing videos, and I like reading articles, and I like giving my opinion, but not all in that order. All articles and all videos have been accredited in the in the description box. I do not own any of the material I will be using tonight other than my own opinion. So with that being said, all articles have been altered from its original form to help with plagiarism. I don't want to, be taken down for plagiarism, for reading everything verbatim. And as well, all videos I will be using fair use. Fair use just isn't a YouTube policy. it's also the law, and I want to follow both in tandem. So, with that being said, if you don't know what the hell fair use is, this is what fair use is. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right. That's fair use. Let me take this there. What else do I have? Fair use, did that, all that. All right, people. Let's turn that music off, and then let's get into some real music. I'm gonna switch my show around. I'm not gonna format it the way that I usually format it. I'm going to do it a different way. And that what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do the random topics portion first. Well, I'll do the pre-show like I usually do. Then I'll do random topics. Then I'll get into the main topic, and then I'll do the real quick segment, and then we'll get out of here. All right. So, people, if you don't know what I like to do, I like to do short banter. Basically, a warm-up topic before I get to all the main topics of tonight. And so with that being said, I believe I gotta take this down. And then Twitter. All right, let me find my place. All right. So if you guys saw last week that infamous video of that guy that was in court, and he was in court simply because he was on a suspended license, which is probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Somebody driving while having a suspended license case. So let's get into that video, and then we'll get into all the other tidbits that have to do with it.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Great.
This has to be the stupidest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks that the court would allow.
So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license.
That is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record.
I ain't never seen somebody so dumbfounded in my life. It's like, come on, dude. Like, you had to know what this case was for.
He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Um,
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate.
Man, when you thought your Friday night was about to be popping, and you gotta go and you gotta go to the to the county jail. Hilarious. All right. So this is next. So this here is, I believe, his trial that happened afterwards. I believe that was the hearing first, and then this was his this is his trial. Now, some tidbits. Back in 2022, I believe he had gotten the suspended license or revoked license lifted, but he didn't go through the proper channels to get those things I guess get himself legal to where he could be back on the street. So he just thought, I guess I can drive since that stuff is lifted. Now some channels he had to go through first in order to get all that squared away. So this is the trial of him. Let's just see.
I'll consider that withdrawn given the substitution.
Okay, I apologize for the low volume. So what I'll do, let me pause that, and yeah. All right, here we go.
Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union.
Bruh. He's never had a license anywhere in this country. And he just out here just driving, just having a good old time driving.
He has never had a license.
But how do we go forward? And that's why I'm here.
The way we go forward, you see how he's bending down like that? The way we go forward is we get his ass into some driver's ed classes. That's what the fuck we do.
For the minimum, you okay?
No, he is not. Because he didn't know that the judge was going to look over all this shit. That's what the fuck he didn't know. He was like, oh, man, like, he putting my business out in the street. Nigga, it's been out in the street. Like, stop. Let's continue.
And he did get into an accident. May he sit down? May he please, Your Honor?
Clear. Part of the reason I'm also doing this
Got into an accident because the nigga can't drive. That's why.
is because I think he was warned and released, didn't take care of it. And secondly, this has been out there for 9 years.
That was crazy. I said that he can't drive because I meant that as a double entendre. Like, he can't drive as well. He can't drive. Anyway, y'all didn't get it.
I did not know about it, Your Honor. Okay.
Counsel, there is not a doubt in my mind that that's true. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We'll see you in August.
Okay, thank you.
Damn. He got a case in August now.
And on the Allen Park one. So at this point, his bond will continue.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yo, if he ain't playing, well, hold on. If he's playing as if he was in an accident, that motherfucker is a great actor. But I don't doubt that he hasn't been in an accident. So. All right. There was another piece to this that I wanted to go over. I think it was in my searches, I believe. So, is it up here? Hold up. Let me turn this off because you never know what the hell is on Twitter. Shit, I need this up. Hold on. Where's that video at? It was him and his lawyer at some trial. Hold on. Is this it?
Corey.
No? Okay. Where the hell is it at? Damn, this shit was just up here yesterday. Let me try latest. See what they give me here. It was a news. It was a news. It was. Come on. Where the hell is this at?
On camera during a Zoom court hearing.
In the other.
I want to tell you something.
This has gotten right.
Here we go.
Bailiff then took Harris away. Have a life.
But hold on. But that's not the one though. Was it in? I think it was in the one that I had, or was the second one that I brought up. So let me go back to my bookmarks. Hold on. So let's go into this. Or was it the first one I brought up? I can't remember. Yeah, it was the second one, I think. Oh, come on. Does anybody got that other video? What's good, Jay? How you doing, man? Let's see this one. All right, it's not that one. All right, where's that one that I had? That was the news. Here it goes.
I was driving on camera during a Zoom court hearing for driving on a suspended license. Somehow continues. He's now back in jail. Remember, this went viral after the defendant, Corey Harris, seemingly committed the crime right in front of a gobsmacked Ann Arbor, Michigan judge J. Cedric Simpson.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driver while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
So we all had a laugh at his audacity, willful ignorance, whatever it was. And then we felt sorry for him when earlier this week, Harris claimed a clerical error had caused his license not to be reinstated when it should have been, landing him in court. And of course, who can't relate to maddening bureaucratic incompetence? I apologized on this show for laughing at him, and I said everyone else should too. The system dropped the ball, right? Well, not quite. Turns out Judge Simpson was ticked off at the pity party Harris had sort of had and making the rounds in the media, et cetera, but blaming everyone but himself. The judge decided to dig a little, found that Harris never actually had a driver's license at all. Not only that, he also had a nearly decade-old outstanding bench warrant for driving with a suspended license in a nearby jurisdiction. Now, according to the judge, there was no clerical error at all.
Dang.
Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. He has never had a license.
The judge insisting Harris knew this clearly, not the least because he told the officer making the October traffic stop that he didn't have a valid license. He said it twice. And yet Harris still blamed state officials. Michigan does have a kind of confusing distinction between having a license and having driving privileges, which can then be suspended even if you don't have a license. And while it's true that his driving privileges were restored 2 years ago, he apparently failed to pay clearance fees to the county clerk's office, which upon receipt would have then notified the Secretary of State's office to lift the suspension and wipe his record. So bottom line, he did not have a license and was not allowed to drive. All right. So the judge framed it this way.
Just own it. Once you own it, then it becomes a whole lot easier just to move forward.
The bailiff then took Harris away. He's now out on bond with his next appearance set for August. Joining me now is Harris's new attorney, Dion Webster Cox. Thanks very much for...
You know, all he has to do, and if he's disabled, well, he got into an accident, so it doesn't mean he's probably like permanently disabled, but if the accident wasn't his fault and he gets compensation for that accident, he can just pay for those fees and get that shit out of the way. Like, why is it that, like, he's not thinking, like, you know, once I get this money, I'll pay these fees so I can get back on the road and shit. Number one, he has to put some of that money towards driver's ed. And, like, what's driver's ed? Like 6 weeks? If that, 4 maybe? So, or a week or something like that? Come on, yo. Like, you can put up what, let's say on average, the average driver's ed course is like $350. You don't got $350 to put down just so you can go through the rigmarole and get your license? Come on, dog. Who knows how old this guy is? Let's say he's like 45, 46, right? He'll only have to hold that permit for what, like 3 months before he takes a driver's ed course? What's 3 months? And then a driver's ed course takes nowhere between 4 to 6 weeks. So that's 4 to 4.5 months right there. And then you go to the DMV or MVA here in Maryland, and you get you go for your written test. Some people take it on the I think you gotta take it on the computer now. Like it wasn't like that when I got my license. Here in Maryland, I believe they just probably a few years ago did away with the written test. Written test is only like 30 questions? No. Like 15 to 20 questions. The computer test has like 30 to 35, maybe 40 now. And I failed the computer test twice. My homeboy told me, he said, yo, when you go back, ask for the written test. Don't have them put you up there on that damn computer because, you get a slotted time to be on that computer when you can take as long as you want with the written test. So when I went back, I said, you mind if I get the written test? And they gave me the written test, and I passed that bitch for flying colors. Got my license that day. So what's 4 to 4.5 months? And plus putting the fees up that you got to pay in order to get back on the road. Like what is he doing with his life? Now let's see what his lawyer has to say. Because obviously he has enough money to get a lawyer now. Like, come on now.
Coming on the program, appreciate it. All right, so I just want to get this straight. Are the facts now clear that he did not have a license and was not authorized to drive at the time that he showed up at that virtual hearing?
That's very true. He did not have a license and he was not authorized to drive. He was not to be driving. The day he received that ticket, that's what the record showed. He was not to be driving, and he was driving. So that's what happened. But I'll tell you something. He is out of jail. He was taken away, but they posted the bond for the other court. Now he's out of jail. So that's one thing that's changed.
Now, I want to play. This is him talking to a reporter on Tuesday before the last hearing. This is number 5, where, again, he was asked about the driver's license issue.
Do you ever recall having one? Having a driver's license?
I knew I had a permit.
Bruh. I knew I had a permit. It's not a license, sir. like any goddamn. All right. I have no clue what the hell happened. Yeah, I have entirely no clue what the hell happened. Anyway, like I was saying, if a cop pulled him over, so if a cop pulls you over, the first thing that they ask, here in Maryland, is it's a license and registration. In some states, like Pennsylvania, that I lived in, is license, registration, and insurance. I don't know why, like the proof of insurance doesn't pop up with the registration. It does here in Maryland because you can't drive a car here in the state of Maryland without insurance. So anyway, so that's the first thing that they'll ask you. You pass them your ID or your license, registration, and or insurance card. Is there nowhere where you think that when the cop looks at your ID, he won't double back and say, "Sir, this is a permit. There's nobody in the car with you right now. Is there a reason why? Like you're supposed to have a active driver with you at all times when you have a permit." And he'll look as dumb as he looked in that goddamn video, that first video. Oh, like no, nigga, like just stop.
I knew that.
A driver's permit or?
I believe. I don't know. I can't say yes and I can't say no.
I mean, look.
Bruh.
What? The fuck is you talking about? You can't say yes, you can't say no. You don't know what you had. Because, nigga, the judge got so ticked off that it became a national story. He said, fuck this. I'm going to go into the records and see if he ever had a license. And he looked up Corey Harris. So he looked through all of the driver's records of Michigan. He got nothing. He then probably he probably asked for a subpoena or to look into the national index of licenses. I guess that's what it would be called. I'm just making shit up right now. And he searched for his name, probably address as well, to no avail. Nothing showed up. So if nothing showed up both times, I'm pretty sure he doubled back and was like, maybe I'm missing something. And he went to go and search again and saw nothing again. Like, it's self-explanatory. You didn't have a license, Corey. You didn't have a license.
You know.
Now, I feel bad for him that he got to go through all this bullshit, but at the same time, he did it to himself.
Bruh.
That probably didn't help him either, right?
No, of course, it did not help him. And I want to tell you something where I want to focus with this. How do we move forward? And that's what I kept telling the judge. Let's move forward with this. Now tomorrow he's going to work on his permit and we'll see what happens. But he wants to be a law-abiding citizen. He wants to do the right thing. And honestly, the judge said,
he now wants to be a law-abiding citizen?
Is that he did have an accident. He might be suffering from a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, and he just doesn't remember. I don't know.
Bruh.
Oh, I can't put words into his mouth. The only thing I can tell you is he wants to do better. He wants to do better.
I have to say, I still feel a little bad for him, primarily because of all the attention that this has gotten, right? I mean, that's the part about it that I feel for. I mean, this is the judge. The judge just went after him. This is number 4.
Person that needed to be blamed is the person that he was staring at in the mirror. He didn't do what he should have done.
This judge seemed really ticked off.
And the judge was. And perhaps, again, I can't get into the judge's mind. I can't get into.
Before she continues, do you know that's the worst fucking thing anybody can do to a judge is make the judge mad? Just think about this. Shit happened to me too. So just think, Corey's the first, maybe second person that the judge is seeing that day, right? And just think you're sitting there, lucky number 3 after him. Just like with me. They bust this dude in from the county jail. This motherfucker had the nerve to be laughing and talking shit to the judge, pissed the judge off.
Bruh.
Man, once a judge is ticked off for the day, there's no him being nice to anybody. So I had to go through that. The judge was pissed off not only at the dude, but now he's looking at all his caseload for the day, and he's looking at what the caseloads are, and he's like, man, fuck these people. So it was fuck me, pause.
Pause, nigga.
It was fuck me once I got to the stand. Let's continue.
Into the prosecutor's mind, because they came locked and loaded. Both of them came locked and loaded that day, right? And the only thing I could do was say, he's trying to do better, Judge. He wants to do better. That's it. It was a pretrial, so we weren't at a point where we were going to admit any type of guilt or set it for trial. That wasn't the purpose of it. But the judge wanted to set the record straight, which he did. He sat there and said, hey, you've never had a license. So we sort of look at it. My client wants to say something. I say, don't speak. Don't say a word. Just be quiet at this point. And we just have to take it. We had to take that. It was a spanking, and we took it.
No, it was an ass whooping that he took. That's what that was. It wasn't a spanking, nigga. He aired him out. He's like, look, he hasn't had a license nowhere here in the great state of Michigan or in the other 49 states and commonwealths. He doesn't have a license any fucking where. So why he was driving the date that he had a hearing, on top of driving while he was in this hearing, and he knows what this hearing is for, what the hell is wrong with him? And then, the judge said what he said. Look, bond's revoked. I'm not fucking with this guy. He wants to play around. Send his ass to jail. He got to turn himself in by 6 o'clock today, or he's gonna have a bench warrant on him. And that was it.
Sounds like he's got a good attorney now. Dionne Webster Cox, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right. So that concludes tonight's short banter. How about we random topics of the week are? And get to it. Can we just eat cookies and get along? And Trump's guilty verdict outcome for voters. So, over the past week or so, I saw this topic pop up. I didn't really read much into it until this week, because last week I had, graduations and shit to go to. My nephew graduated and my cousin graduated, along with my homeboys, nieces and nephew graduating. So, that was Friday. My nephew's graduation was Thursday of last week. So I didn't really have much time. And once I'm away from the computer on the weekend, I'm away from the computer. I don't fuck with my computer on the weekend unless I have something to do. So this topic came up about this cookie shop that is in, I believe, Michigan. I believe it's in. So let's see what this topic has to deal with tonight.
Open hip hop cookie shop is creating a buzz, but not in a good way. iTomate's Kat Sandoval takes us into this cookie shop and takes a deep dive and tells us why the business is in hot water.
Cookie Plug's opening week was anything but sweet, with some Hoosiers calling their marketing strategy racist or misappropriating Black culture.
Those comments are hurtful, so I'm not even watching it.
Doreen Waters and her husband Michael opened up a cookie shop on Mass Avenue. It's a California franchise called Cookie Plug. It has graffiti on the walls, hip-hop references, and phrases and slang usually associated with drugs.
Me selling cookies, that's all we're doing.
But the details are there, from boxes with money and references like, "Thank you for supporting your neighborhood dough dealer," cookies called fatties, and a drink called Purple Drink.
I mean, I grew up during this time, and I never have done drugs. Purple Drink is just that. It's a purple drink. It's lemonade.
But for people who grew up with hip-hop culture, Purple Drink was a reference to a deadly drug mix some rappers would drink.
When the franchisee is not aware of what these what the terminology is dealing with, and to be honest, tropes that are used as gimmicks to sell people lemonade and sell children lemonade, that is absolutely a problem.
Foray Phillips is speaking up because hip-hop is synonymous with Black people and culture. He wants the company.
No, it's not. Like, I'm tired of Black people saying this is for the culture. Well, what culture? We don't own the rap culture anymore, so how are we doing this for any culture that we don't own? So for them to get upset at brilliant marketing, I would say, the Cookie Plug, who don't like cookies? I'm a cookie monster in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I like peanut butter cookies, chocolate chip cookies, snickerdoodles, pussy, any type of cookie you think about, I like it. Red velvet, you know what I'm saying? White chocolate chip and macadamia nut, I fucks with it. I'm a cookie monster. Put a cookie in front of me, god damn it, I'm a gobble it up. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't racist marketing. This is genius fucking marketing if you look at it.
To do better, maybe get rid of references to drugs.
And look at that thick ass look. I'm dieting now. I'm dieting now. I'm back in the gym. So, it's hard looking at this because my snacks now consist of granola, fruits, and vegetables, and shit like that. I can no longer have fatty things anymore, so when I make my dinner, it's a bunch of foolishness now. You know what I'm saying? I try to make it as tasty as possible, but still, it's like, I gotta take in all the protein that I have to now, because I'm trying to get this weight up off me or whatever, this COVID weight. So it's like me looking at this, I'm salivating. And we got it's a cookie shop in Newark, Delaware, called Insomnia Cookie. So if you chop these cookies in half, that's how big their cookies are at Insomnia Cookie. So shout out to Insomnia Cookie real quick.
Why is the entire theme of the organization based off of drug references and terminology? You're painting.
Well, does rappers not talk about drugs in their lyrics? Check. What else does he has to say that's stupid?
A picture that hip hop and drugs are synonymous, which is.
It kinda is at this point, is it not? Okay, let's backtrack. Gangsta rap comes in the foray of hip hop between 1986 to 1988. You can thank Cool G Rap for gangsta rap, not NWA, for all the people who think that NWA started gangsta rap. No, sir. Philadelphia rapper Cool G Rap started gangster rap. Now, was there not drug references in those lyrics that Cool G Rap did, and NWA, and Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube? And then let's get into the 90s. Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Snoop Dogg. Was there not drug references in there? Let's go to the 2000s. This is when the Dope Boy era was at its prime. You had Jeezy, you had Dipset, you had 50 Cent and G Unit, you had The Game, you named the rapper who was talking about drugs in their lyrics. Jadakiss, Styles P, Cheek Luch, The Locks. Hell, Wu-Tang sometime. Then, let's shift it to the 2010s. This motherfucker's talking about being on drugs at this point. Popping mollies and pop a molly, I'm sweating. Woo! Pop a molly, I'm sweating. Woo! Percocet. Molly Percocet. I'm on that lean. So, for Foray, or Foray, or how the fuck you say his name, to say that drugs and hip hop isn't synonymous, nigga, what the fuck are you listening to? Kanye West? Kanye West got a few drug references in some of his songs. Weed references, not cocaine. What the fuck are you listening to?
Is not the truth.
The franchise owner, Eric Martinez, says it's really about freedom of expression.
Well, I think that's exactly my point.
Everyday hookup. You got that right, sir. An everyday hookup.
Right? Like, you can be a proud American and you can love hip hop and you can love cookies and you can love graffiti, right? Like, you don't have to be in a box.
He makes references to 50 Cent.
And he said, America's got a thing for this gangster-ish. And they do, right? Like, that's what they like.
50 Cent did say that. What was that, on his first album? America got something for this gangster-ish. Hold on, what's the song though? Matter of fact, no, that was on Tony Yayo's song. So Seductive. America got something for this gangster shit. Something. Come on now.
Like, so that's why when I started the cookie, I was like, well, let's make a cookie shop gangster. That's really all it is.
Hip hop legend LL Cool J is one of the investors in Cookie Plug and plans to.
Bruh. LL Cool J himself is an investor of this franchise. It just isn't in LA. It's spawning several other branches into other states. So a rapper himself is invested into this company, but drugs and hip hop isn't synonymous. LL Cool J. Do you know what LL Cool J's original rap name was? J Rock Ski. J for James, Rock for that crack rock, and Ski for them cocaine slopes. J Rock Ski was LL Cool J's original rap name. So for everybody talking about the culture, what do you know about the culture to be talking about the culture? Just don't talk about hip hop music. You gotta know something about the hip hop that you're listening to. You gotta know something about the artists that you listen to. J-Rock-Ski was LL Cool J's original fucking rap name back in the 80s because crack rock and cocaine was at its height in the 80s. 1984 to be exact. But come on now. Come on, yo. You have to know something about hip hop.
Opened 30 shops of his own. Customers I spoke to today don't seem to have a problem.
It looks good so far. I haven't tasted anything yet. So once I get there, then, I'll probably be back if they're good enough, and I'll turn them on to other coworkers and other people.
There is a steady influx of diverse customers willing to try the new cookie shop. And the owner told us that since they've opened, one customer said they were offended. I'm iTeammate's Kat Sandoval.
Man, fuck that person and fuck their family and fuck whoever else thinks that this shit is offensive. It's not offensive. Drugs and hip hop isn't synonymous. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Have you ever listened to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 song White Lines? What the fuck is the white lines that they're talking about? Cocaine. Cocaine is what they're talking about. So, how is hip hop and drugs not synonymous? Please tell me. I want to know. Y'all are sitting here being offended because y'all don't know shit. That's why. Y'all don't know shit. Hip hop and drugs isn't synonymous. It's very synonymous. How's it that from 1990 up until now, every rapper that's ever existed from those time frames has been a drug lord? You would have thought in Jeezy and Rick Ross's albums that dropped in 2005 or 2006, that they were the biggest drug lords ever to live before they started hip hop. We come to find out, Rick Ross was a correctional officer that probably was bringing drugs into his workplace to give to inmates. That's something that never gets spoken about. As well as we don't hear about and Jeezy used to work with BMF. So hip hop and drugs isn't synonymous. Says who? Like, this shit is wild. Anyway, let's get into this article. I get this article from Complex. The hip hop themed cookie shop faces cultural appropriation accusations, which is a bunch of bullshit. Let's keep going. It's only a cultural appropriation because white people own the business. That's why. Multi-state dessert shop franchise Cookie Plug is upsetting some over its hip hop theme and marketing. In response to the chain's opening of its Indianapolis location in late May, some residents spoke to local station Wish TV, calling the Cookie Plug for its use of offensive terms and cultural appropriation. But the business is going to boom any fucking way, no matter how you feel. Cookie flavors from the business include Purple Haze, which is probably a red velvet cookie. Good Love, which is probably a pink cookie, maybe. And OG, which is probably a chocolate chip cookie. Along with Purple Drink, Lemonade. Now that shit sounds banging. Is it grape infused? Purple Drink Lemonade, accompanied by a description that calls it a smooth blend of zesty lemons with a hit of the royal purple vibe, which is probably great. Giving you a taste that's straight out of the hood. Now, that's not them. That's not these white people that's selling these cookies. That's what they were given from the company. They probably, went to a seminar somewhere that was like, hey, if you want to open up a dessert business of this sort, this is, these are our flavors of cookies. This is the lemonade that we sell, along with probably Coca-Cola products or Pepsi products. Who knows? So this isn't coming from the people who own the business. This is coming from its corporate entity that sells off the graffiti paintings and stuff that they have decorate the entire business. So it's like you're upset at these white people when shouldn't you be upset at whoever owns the corporate office? Like that makes more sense to me than this is offensive and this shouldn't fly. It's like, man, chill the fuck out. How about that? While the shop's co-owner, Doreen Walters, has called the comments hurtful, Indianapolis resident Fee Phillips called out the Cookie Plug location for its cultural insensitivity. Is it in the hood? When the franchise is not aware of what the terminology they're dealing with, and to be honest, tropes as gimmicks to sell people lemonade and children lemonade, that's a problem. Phillips told Wish TV. Now, okay, I understand his sentiments because it does seem as though that with the marketing that they were given, it looks as if that these people are trying to indoctrinate children with drug use. Now he has that. He has that as a good point. But what he doesn't have as a good point is his reasoning. Let's keep going. Phillips also stated that he wants Cookie Plug to get rid of their drug references. They can't get rid of it because that's what they paid for. That's what corporate sent to them. They have nothing to do with what they were sent. All right, so that's his reasoning is a little off right there. Why is the entire theme of the organization franchise based on drug reference? You are painting the picture that drugs and hip hop are synonymous, which I said that they are, which is not true. I don't understand how he thinks is not true. A few comments on Cookie Plug's Instagram post seems to echo Phillips' thoughts, with one person writing "Culture Vulture" in the response to their reel. Now, they have nothing to do with what they were sent. Now, to these armchair activists that are on Instagram, and this armchair activist that thinks drugs and hip hop isn't synonymous, it's like, well, what are you listening to? Now, I understand if you're listening to De La Soul and Kanye and conscious rap. Conscious rap, no drug references whatsoever, other than Kanye. I believe De La Soul has several songs about smoking weed. Indigable Planets, I believe, have a couple weed references in their music as well. But you can't fault these people for what they bought. This is what they bought. When they started their business, just like any other business that franchises out the business, as like McDonald's pays for the land that McDonald's gets put on. They own the land, and then the franchisee then has to pay rent on that land to McDonald's. and then also pay for the equipment and also he pays for getting the food into the McDonald's. So let's take that and let's put it towards the cookie plug. This is exactly what they probably did, slashing out or taking out the land that it sits on, because it looks like it's just on like a random street in where it's at. And they probably slashed that cost out. They probably had to pay for the equipment that is being used, along with the company that they use to get the cookie doughs and or flours and the eggs and stuff and sugars. That's probably also what is probably either being sent from the franchise or to the franchise, or they deal with a company that the corporate office deals with that they buy into. So it's a bunch of bullshit if you ask me. Just saying. Moving on to the second random topic of the week. I get this article from Slate. Voters did not immediately respond to Trump's guilty verdict. So, with that being said, I have a video. So let's play the video first.
I'd say that the jury is.
And then let's get into the article.
I'd say that the jury is back in the room. That Judge Merchan is back on the bench. And so we are looking now. It looks like we have some of the verdicts coming in. It is quickly coming in here. From inside, we are starting to hear that there are guilty. There are guilty verdicts from our producer inside. We're hearing guilty on 1 through 5. 1 through 12, we have now 13, 14 guilty. 15 guilty. You may hear there are a split of folks here who have been protesting on both sides of this case. Some cheer, some boos, as we are now getting the information from the jury. We're up to 18 counts, 19 guilty. Remember, we have 34 here, 20 guilty. And again, these counts were very similar. What they were looking at, it was different occurrences essentially of the same crime, a misdemeanor that was elevated by being linked to a felony, to an underlying crime. We are now 24 counts in, all guilty from inside. This is what we are hearing from our producers, up to 26 guilty. Now, remember, each of these counts could maximum have 4 years in jail. President Trump would be considered a first-time offender. These are non-violent crimes. So it seems that it is unlikely the judge would sentence him to prison, but we are now up to 31 counts guilty out of 34. 32 guilty, also coming in from inside the courtroom. Our producers now saying 33 and 34. They're saying guilty on all 34 charges. That is where we are at. The jurors, it looks like we're going to leave for the day. Suddenly we get this verdict. It is 34 guilty counts on all of this. I want to bring in Andy McCarthy, who's here with me, Judge Deneen as well, and Trey Gowdy. Andy, where we go from here, obviously there will automatically be an appeal from this Trump team as quickly as possible. There's the legal issue of sentencing to come. That's going to take maybe months to get to a pretrial report on this and then to a sentencing by the judge. And he reminded the jurors he's the one who decides. But we have the reality now of a former president for the first time being convicted on 34 criminal counts, guilty on all of these counts, whatever conflict or confusion or questions the jury had. They got that information back to them this morning. And by the end of day 2 of deliberations, we're at 34 guilty counts for the former president of the United States.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
All right. So it was 34 guilty verdict counts to Trump's trial. And okay. Hold up. And it wasn't a lot of people that jumped out the window just yet, because honestly, that helped Donald Trump in certain ways. So like that boosted him in the polls like like 5 points it did. And it kind of like in a way it set him up to possibly win the presidency or whatever, because some people are saying, well, he's going to be put in jail soon, so I wouldn't bank on him winning the election. But it's like you can as well run for president in jail. Let's see. And fellas, y'all ain't coming on tonight. All right, let me get out of here. All right, I'm about to read this article to you guys from Slate. So we have a big question is looming after Donald Trump's felony conviction in a scheme to hide hush money payments to pornographic actress Stormy Daniels. Now, I would say Stormy Daniels probably isn't the best performer. He could have got someone else, like Lisa Ann, but he wanted Stormy Daniels. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, will it break through the so-called? Will it break through the so-called low information or disengaged voters who don't follow current events closely? Trump's support among these voters have been strong recently, but there was reason to believe that they were more likely to change their preference in response to a guilty verdict than were voters who were already plugged into the news. As of Monday afternoon, 3 national polls of registered voters conducted entirely after the verdict have been released. And I have the information right here. Reuters, Ipsos found Biden leading Trump 41-39, a slight shift from the 40-40 tie it reported 3 weeks ago, with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.1% points. That's still basically a tie. So basically, they're still tied in the polls. So it's anybody's race at this point. That's what Reuters and Ipsos says. Forbes and Harris X found Trump leading 51-49, a slight shift from the 50-50 tie it found in late March. The polls margin of error is plus or minus 3.1 percentage points. The reason those numbers are higher than Reuters and Ipsos is that they include learners who aren't fully concerned of their candidates of their candidate choice. And then we have morning consults. Is that consults? Yeah, morning consults post verdict survey found Biden leading 45 to 44, a shift from the result of its previous weekly tracking poll. A 44 to 42 Trump lead, but still effectively a tie. Now, what they're not also saying is certain Democratic news organizations are calling Trump's guilty verdict a farce because certain evidence was put out during the trial, which this trial was tried in DC, I believe, and they found it no contest there, of which when Trump got into presidency and was, messing with this case or had to mess with this case during his first term of his presidency, is Stormy had to pay him back money. I think it was somewhere along the lines of like $40,000 or something like that, $20,000. And I don't know if he got all of his money back, but she had to pay that out. Of which they tried to also impeach him on, which to no avail, nothing happened. Then Alvin Bragg and the New York prosecutors tried him again on the same charge, which this would be double jeopardy, unless they find circumstantial evidence to bring the trial back up, which they thought that they did. So they found that not only did he pay off Stormy Daniels, of which he didn't, because his lawyer, Michael Cohen, got placed in jail for that. And Michael Cohen took the stand and basically said, I paid Stormy Daniels out of my own pocket. I put a lien on my house. I got a house loan. I got an equity loan from an equity firm. They gave me the money. I gave it to Stormy. That should have been the end of the trial there, but Biden and his cabinet is behind all of this. His trial that's in Georgia, which possibly may not take place. His they fucking with me right now. YouTube's fucking with me right now. They don't want me saying none of the shit that I'm saying right now. It's been several skips that because I monitor my show, it has been several skips that I have listened to and seen happen just within the past 2 minutes. YouTube, just stop. This is what it is. Anyway, let me continue. Let me see. The Georgia trial may not happen. The Florida trial, I believe, is for the documents, of which let's dwell on that real fast before I get into the last half of this article. The President of the United States has the authority to declassify classified documents, and he can take said documents. Trump was the president when he took those documents, but we also found out that Biden also had classified documents at his Delaware residence, but he was not a president to take said documents. But they just brushed that under the rug as if we wasn't gonna just be sitting here thinking, well, wait a minute, how does Biden have documents, but they do nothing about that, but Trump has documents and he damn near got his head blown off, of which the FBI that stormed his house? It was a report that came out that the FBI had full authority of lethal action. So just in case Trump or the Secret Service wanted to not allow them in to Mar-a-Lago, they had the full authority to not only put a bullet in Trump's head, but in his Secret Service's details heads as well. Ain't that weird? Ain't that weird? So you telling me that the ex-president of the United States is getting his home stormed by FBI agents to collect documents, but when it gets found out that the current president also has classified documents at his residence, but when he took them, he was the vice president. It makes no sense. So, I don't know. Take that, fucking YouTube. Fuck you.
Wonderful.
Nah, that's not it.
Nasty bitch.
All right, let's get into the second half of this article. So, add everything together, and Trump's lead over Biden in the Real Clear Politics polling average has moved ever so slightly from 0.9% on the morning of the verdict to 0.5% as of last Monday, or two Mondays ago, I believe. Wait a minute. No, not 2 Mondays ago. When was he found guilty? Was it last week? I believe it was last Wednesday. No. Last Thursday he was found guilty. So Monday of this week. What a roller coaster. These polls, as well as others that are focused on just the verdict, have found that most Americans believe that the jury's decision was justified. But no, it wasn't, because the judge said in his instruction, if you guys come out 4-4-4, we'll still take that as a unanimous decision. So 4 people feel as though that he's guilty, 4 people feel as though that he's not guilty, and 4 people are undecided. The judge said he will take that as a guilty verdict. So who the fuck is the judge working for? He's a Soros judge, so who is he working for? Who knows? What the hell is this $11 being taken out of my account about? Oh, okay. So, who was the judge working for? Now, to get to the jurors, because no one knows who the fuck these people are, nor have they been shown. You know, one thing that the judge never said to or never did to the jurors, he never sequestered them. So, what the the OJ trial, the jurors had to be sequestered to a hotel in Los Angeles somewhere. Who knows where it was, but they had to get sequestered to a um a hotel so that they wouldn't be able to go home and not only speak about the case to their family members, but speak about the case to other people either in their neighborhood or their friends or other family members. The judge never sequestered them, so they were able to go home every night, look at the news coverage on this shit, and then go back the next day without knowing. With knowing everything that every news station has said about the trial. Now, with the OJ trial, they didn't allow them to listen to the radio or watch television, but this judge allowed the jury to do so. How is that possible? The fix was already in. If you ask me, the fix was already in. It was CNN. I forgot the guy's name. One of the newscasters. He basically said this is a miscarriage of justice. His words, not mine. A miscarriage of justice, of which a couple other progressive and far left, not far left, but left news stations are kind of saying the same thing. This is a miscarriage of justice. How do we convict an ex-president that, if you look at it, did nothing wrong? He did nothing wrong. Now, someone will probably bring up, well, Bill Clinton had an affair in the White House, and not only was he cheating on his wife, he was cheating on the country. This man, Trump, let me bring his picture back up. Trump wasn't even the president yet. This happened like a few years beforehand that this happened, of him paying Stormy Daniels money. That happened way before he became president. But anything to lock this man up, for what reason, I have no idea why. It's crazy to me. It's pure foolishness. Let me continue. ABC News Ipsos found that 50% of respondents said it was the correct verdict, as opposed to 27% who said it wasn't, and 23% who said they didn't know. Morning Consult respondents approved of the result of the trial by a margin of 54 to 34 in a CBS News poll, which didn't allow respondents to answer not sure, found that 57% felt that it was the right verdict, against 43% who felt that it was the wrong one. Now, all of this hate for Trump comes because of, what is the left called, the MAGA people, maggots. They feel as though that the maggots are perpetuating this man to become president again, so things can be like they were between 2016 to 2020. And it's like, well, nothing happened. Now, there's some soft motherfuckers out there that think that racism doesn't exist because we had a black president. Get the fuck out of here. Some people feel as though that we should be more progressive as a country, but we're soliciting kids to men who dress up like women as if it's Halloween, and they do sexual things and story hours Or parents are taking these kids to strip teases. Like, what type of shit is this? This is the country that y'all want to raise your kids in? This is the type of country you want to raise your kids in. That's crazy to me. That's fucking nuts to me. Let me see. Long story short, American voters find it quite plausible that Donald Trump committed the crime that the jury convicted him of. This has translated to a teensy-weensy silver of polling shift away from Trump and toward Biden. This nigga just shit himself yesterday. Biden shit himself in France, in Normandy, to commemorate the veterans who stormed the beaches of Normandy during World War II. So let's give the veterans a DJ Horn. Give those brave men a DJ Horn, a round of applause for putting their lives on the line and then also losing other brothers that they lost in the war in the World War II. Let's give them a round of applause. I'll give them a DJ Horn again because they deserve it. But this fool, fucking Biden, was he shit himself yesterday at the commencement or the commemoration, and his wife had to walk him to wherever the fuck she walked him to. And at the same time, or beforehand, before all that, instead of Biden turning around like everyone else did, he was steady. While everyone was facing forward, he faced everyone that was facing forward. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, this is the guy y'all want to put back in office. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. The incumbent president's bigger problem remains that many swing voters think of him as a 6-foot-tall walking manifestation of inflation. Although on the front, Walmart and McDonald's did just announce that they're planning to cut prices on certain items. Moral values or value meal prices, which are more important to the United States electorate. The answer is value meal prices. But what the fuck are they? Now, hold on. Before we finish this, let's talk about that real fast. The bird flu is being projected out there. Chicken sales has lowered because they're getting rid of chickens. Wendy's is giving away chicken nuggets for free, and McDonald's is cutting their prices on certain items, chicken items, and Walmart also is cutting prices on certain items. I haven't seen what the chicken looks like at Walmart yet, but if it's that stringy shit that you can see on TikTok and shit, I don't want that. I won't even get near that shit because lab grown meat is becoming a thing now. Ew.
Nasty bitch.
Hey, man. But that concludes tonight's random topics of the night. How about we get into main topic of the night. And the main topic of the night is just scrolling Twitter. That's all. I didn't really have nothing to talk about tonight, so I was like, fuck it, let's just scroll Twitter. Let's see what's trending on the timeline. Let's see what's going on with the timeline. So, if I should do that.
So somehow the saga.
What's going on in the world? So we got Jay-Z, we have Roman Reigns, SmackDown, Alex Jones, Nazis, illegal, Apollo 8, New York Supreme Court, Popeyes, Russell Brand, Tate, and Wheel of Fortune. Tate who, though? Let's go and see. Hold up. You never know what the fuck you might fall into. So hold on. Is this Andrew Tate? Burning all the money was nothing. I'm just getting started. Real nigger Tate just got started. 5,000 retweets for the real nigger. The fuck is wrong with this guy? Who uses the hard R? I can't play that. But this is just Andrew Tate smoking a stogie and shit. But who uses the hard R? What the hell is wrong with this guy? Anyway, this matter of fact, before we continue, let me grab something to drink because my throat's getting a little dry. Let me grab something to drink and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me take some stuff off of here. All right. So let me take that off again. Hold on. Let me take that off again because I don't want to get flagged. Ain't like I'm getting paid for any of this, but I don't want to get flagged.
Stop it. Turn this song off and stop buying things. Stop it.
Producer.
Turn the song off and stop buying things. We have work to do.
Producer. Got all them hoes.
Turn this song off.
Anyway, let's get out of there. Ain't nothing there. Let's see what Russell Brand's up to. Russell Brand dropping facts. Share this everywhere. So let's see what he says.
Some facts. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than 2/3 of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention that finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech vaccine. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding.
With taxpayer money, which Fauci is meeting with Congress right now about all of this. I hope I can find that somewhere.
It's difficult not to...
But I will just add one thing. It is possible that these are greedy capitalists who made a lot of money.
All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis, where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elites.
In other words, people. In other words, I don't think I can play this song. I wish I could, but I can't. That beat was hard. Yeah, in other words, our taxpayer money's going, to this shit. And Fauci, hold on, I don't know I'm not about to get flagged, so let me take this off and let's see what's down here. Cause I wanna play that video that of Fauci in Congress. Russell Brand can fuck all the way off. He's okay, whatever. Russell Brand in a straight choice between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. If you care about democracy, if you care about freedom, I don't know how. Okay, let's see what he has
to think that a greater threat to in a straight choice between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, if you care about democracy, if you care about freedom, I don't know how you can do anything other than vote for Donald Trump for precisely the reasons that they claim that you can't vote for Donald Trump. They act as if a vote for Donald Trump is almost like you're directly voting for Armageddon. Like you see hysterical performances outside of courtrooms, endless MSNBC bombast. But I'm starting to think that a greater threat to democracy is this kind of technological feudalism that tells you that it cares about you and it's protecting vulnerable people, all the while increasing censorship, increasing the funding of wars, increasing the division between ordinary Americans. In a straight choice.
And I agree with that. Personally, because I can't come on this platform of YouTube and speak my mind. I have to speak within guidelines of the WHO, of the NIH, of you name the organization, of the LGBTQ. I can't bash them. Whatever protected group or protected organization that I can basically come here with facts on, that's like, well, this isn't true, this is actually what's going on. I can't even do that even if I wanted to. I can because I don't make money off any of this shit. Like, and all this that y'all seeing, I don't make money off of none of this shit. I do this for fun, basically. So if YouTube happens to want to take my channel at any given moment, it don't matter to me. I'm not making any money off this shit. I'll just make a new account. Like, it's that damn simple. But yeah, like, censorship has ramped up since everyone started questioning the pandemic or the plandemic, or you know what I'm saying? Like, once people started questioning that shit and it wasn't in line with what the WHO had to say about it, or NIH or Fauci, you couldn't talk about it. But once all the so-called conspiracy theories were so-called debunked, that everything that was being said was basically true about everything, they started to panic. They started to try to hide their tail. Like I don't understand like what the fuck they think. But you know what I mean? Like, certain things are in order to stop us as Americans from talking about it. So let's check something else out. Popeyes, that's not important. Let's see New York Supreme Court. Okay, so New York Supreme Court alerts Judge Merchant of potential poison jury after a comment on court's Facebook page by juror's alleged cousin revealed outcome of verdict day before announcement. Let's see what this is.
This happened. Folks, major breaking news on the Trump verdict out of the rotten apple. A New York Supreme Court has just notified, or the New York Supreme Court has just notified Judge Juan Merchan that someone identifying themselves as the cousin of one of the jurors posted to the court's Facebook page that Trump was going to be found guilty. This happened one day before the verdict was announced. We're working to verify all.
You remember when I said that they weren't sequestered? None of the jurors were sequestered, and now this is coming out. How's it that a cousin of a juror would know that a day before the verdict came out that Trump was going to be found guilty any fucking way? How would he know that information if the instructions after every day is said, don't speak about this to your friends or family, and don't watch television about this case or the radio? But none of that was said, I guess.
All this information and what it means about Trump's case.
All right. What's this? Oh no, Dave Rubin has been making the rounds recently, claiming that Trump's appeal will be futile because the The New York Supreme Court is made of 5 black women DEI judges. Megyn Kelly corrects Dave and explains that the New York Supreme Court is the lowest court. Court of Appeals is the highest. Okay, well, let's see.
Do they all kind of think this? I don't know if you know this, but when they appeal this thing, it gets appealed to the Supreme Court of New York, obviously not to the Supreme Court of the United States. The Supreme Court of New York has 5 black female judges. Now, I don't judge anyone based on the color of their skin or on their gender. However, it is virtually, someone ran the numbers on this and one of my guys can correct me, it's virtually impossible statistically to have a court makeup of 5 black women. You know what I mean? So DEI and diversity did get these women, at least some of them, the job. So then you have to think, do they all kind of think the same thing?
Well, it determines on when they got the job. Because DEI just took over what was it? Because it's how affirmative action. That's all DEI took over was affirmative action. So, or should I say, it's an updated version of affirmative action.
And do they think judicially the same thing? And do they all kind of think the same thing about Trump? And what a horrible thing to have to think about, that just because of someone's skin color and gender, that but they're going to file the appeal to go to the Supreme Court of New York because this is a New York trial. We showed you video about a month ago. It's 5 black women because of diversity. Now, oddly, the diversity they care about is always about skin color. Somehow the left's diversity ends up with 5 black women being in charge of the Supreme Court of New York. So do you think, now, I don't know all of their judicial beliefs, these 5 women, but do you think that they probably think similar things and they probably don't like Donald Trump? And that's
a possibility, but we can't just put certain things out there to make it true because they're 5 black women. They may have totally different thought processes. So some of them could base their thought processes and beliefs in a sorority that they pledged when they were in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be totally different across the line how all of them think, but it could be a possibility that all 5 of those women think the same, but we don't know for sure. So
probably how they got the job in the first place. Like, do you think, is that a crazy conspiracy theory? I know you know this, that on the appeal side, there are 5 black female Supreme Court justices in New York. They wanted diversity, and they actually got the least diverse thing. Now, I know, of course, that your skin color and gender.
The Supreme Court is the lowest court in New York. Court of Appeals is the highest court.
Wait, so the Supreme...
There's not 5 female...
Oh, so it's not going to the New York Supreme...
No,
nice.
I know New York is a wacky...
Oh, okay.
New York has a weird name for its courts. Supreme Court is the lowest court, is the trial court.
So that's not the appeals court.
No.
Oh, well, that's refreshing.
It'll go up to the appellate division first.
I like
department.
being corrected on air, by the way. That's actually very refreshing.
It's good news.
Yeah.
And then it'll go up to the Court of Appeals.
So it goes to them first.
First, it'll go to the appellate division, first department,
right,
which is the area that he was tried in, like Manhattan. And then it'll go up to the Court of Appeals, which is our highest court.
Right.
I know. I don't know why they call the Court of Appeals the highest court.
Interesting. All right. Well, at least I had
But anyway, I mean,
look, a legit error. Okay.
All right. Well, that's nice to know. All right. What else we got? I guess these are the 5 black women he was speaking about. The one that's second to the right, she's cute. Okay, let's keep going. What's this? Big news. New York court reportedly told Judge Merchant that a relative of the juror made a comment on Facebook the day before the verdict, saying that they were told that the jury would convict Trump. Merchant notified all parties. If true, this is likely headed to a mistrial. Where the hell did I just read that at? A mistrial because a juror isn't allowed to discuss the case with family or friends like this. Fuck, I've been saying, yeah. How would I be able to read this? I still can't read this shit. Damn. Anyway, it probably just says that a juror, spoke about the case outside of the court or whatever, and whatever. So, well, it's a possibility it could go into a mistrial. Let's see what these people are saying though. So Robbie Starbuck says, I'm personally suspicious about if this is really a juror's cousin. If so, that cousin probably isn't getting invited to Thanksgiving this year because this would be wild. But why would Merchant and the New York Supreme Court alert about it if it wasn't a cousin? Seems odd. And Jenny Mobley says, just further proof that he can't get a fair trial, and that this isn't in the hold on. Just further proof he can't get a fair trial, and that this isn't fair in the first place. Okay. Epoch News, take poll. Did you think Judge Juan Merchan will sentence Trump to jail? Which people said, most people said yes. The New York Supreme Court told him, wonder if he already knew and was just hope else found out. Well, I guess somebody found out, which means he had to make a statement. Yep, if this is a real post, this means a mistrial. Good news for Trump. All right, well, let's get out of here. Let's take one more. So apparently this is Michael Anderson, the cousin of the juror, and the guy that made the post everyone is talking about. It's now being said he's just some shit poster, could be. But answer me this: why would the New York Supreme Court feel the need to send a notice to Merchan, and why would Judge I have no idea what's this dude's name? Judge Corrupt Nuts feel the need to send a letter to the attorney about it. How many BS posts about this trial are floating around, yet this gets national attention? Y'all think something smells about... Hold on. Y'all think something smells about this whole thing? And this is supposed to be the guy. It was already a bullshit trial to begin with. Like, everybody's saying it. You got newscasters on far left news stations saying it, so it's a possibility. Okay, y'all immediately telling me that that's Johnson, the male porn star, are showing. Okay, well, I don't want to go any further in this post because you never know what the fuck might pop up. Let's see. All right, well, I guess that's all that they got there. So what else we got here? Illegal. Let's see what illegal is. You know, the Democrats screw up when they woke up the black community. Too bad it took 15 million illegal invaders, though. Better late than never. So this is probably in Chicago. Let's see what Slate.
Well, then our elected officials. Funny how y'all find money for them. Yeah. But you can't find money for us. Right. Do you all realize that CTU has it in their contract that is up for negotiations this year, where they're going to be giving more money to migrants than they're going to be giving to support our teachers? In what world is that okay? You want to give migrant kids $2,000 a month for a stipend in your contract? What about the rest of the kids who are hungry and suffering here in Chicago? Do you not think that it is just migrant kids who are suffering, who are not able to eat, who are dealing with homelessness? Of course it's not. I say all this to say, people, Democrats, you're on the menu this election. Black America.
Hold on. Where's my din? Where's that at? You're on the chopping block this election year, Democrats. Did you hear what she said? Let's play that back.
I say all this to say, people, Democrats, you're on the menu this election.
Woo! And that's a black woman saying that. Whoa! Man. That's crazy.
Black America, wake up and pay attention. Supporting Trump does not make you racist. It does not demonize you. What it does do is says to the Democratic Party, y'all not going to keep playing with us. You're not going to keep taking us for granted. You're not going to continue to disregard the importance of our vote. So we're saying here today, go Trump 2024. We got you, Donald Trump, here in the city of Chicago. We're supporting you because what we're saying to the Democratic Party is y'all not going to continue to play in our faces. Yeah.
And that's all that it is, man. Is that the Democratic Party, since Biden has gotten into office, has been fucking around with us. It started with, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That was the first red flag everyone should have saw. But, people graze past that because, they thought that Biden was a better choice than Trump because he brought up racism in the country. All the people who are MAGA supporters, they're racist. It's like, okay, most of them could be or are, but why do you give a fuck? Like, does that not allow you to sleep at night knowing that racists are in this country? Like, racists started the country. So, are you upset that the offspring of said people have offspring that are racist as well? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I personally don't give a damn who's racist and who's not. I really don't care. Like, it is beyond me to give a damn about who the fuck is racist in this country. Because what I used to say was, it took the covert racists and made them overt. So now that these motherfuckers are in your face, you can put faces to names now. So if you feel froggy, and you see them out in public, you have two options: to leap or to sit on your cowardly lily pad and shut the fuck up. But no one ever thinks to, well, if I see a motherfucker that was racist, they don't do shit. So it's like, shut the fuck up. You're not going to do shit. Leave it alone. as your grandmother used to tell, leave it alone and move the fuck on. So that's just what it is, man. What else they got? Shit is nice. And the post is true in a sense because it took how many migrants are over here, and they're not even just from Mexico. They're from Brazil, Central America, Haiti, Africa, some of them, well, not Africans. But yeah, like we're getting migrants. Thank Biden for that, because this motherfucker did say, oh, we're gonna let at least so and so amount of illegals to come into this country undocumented, and it happened, and everyone's looking at Biden like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? To where they get allotted, was it like $5,000 to $10,000 with a place to stay in the economy? They talk about Trump giving out money during the pandemic, which, in a way, I would say, okay, well, with the money being printed and being given out, would inflate, caused inflation. What the fuck do you think Biden giving these illegals thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, then giving Ukraine what they got, $1 billion so far, and then now with this whole Israel-Palestine beef that's going on over there, the fighting cousins, he's giving Israel money and weapons, along with Ukraine getting money and weapons. Like, Trump might have given out a couple million, but this nigga Biden is giving away billions of dollars. Billions of dollars, of which we don't have the economy for it. Why milk, eggs, and bread is basically $7 to $10. Gas is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit when it comes to these trains and these semis getting food and merchandise to these stores. Like, you don't think that, well, I went over this in a podcast, I forgot which one, where I basically brought up how everything works, the supply chain, how all of it works. So, for us not to get the respect in this country that we deserve, and Biden and Democrats treating us like playthings, they on the chopping block this year. It's a lot of black people reverting back to being a Republican, because we've been conservative. Like, the black community within a whole is conservative. Like, the progressive ones that you see out there are only the ones who've adopted progressivism within the past few years, or let's say the past 2 decades. Because simply, black people have been conservative minded when it comes to certain things, because it helped us during Jim Crow, of which that I forgot that senator's name. He said something about us being us doing better now than what we did in Jim Crow. But what's not being said is, during Jim Crow, the black family was still intact. No one ever wants to put that up because you have these feminists out here basically saying that men ain't shit. So they take that talking point to task, and then they do nothing about it. But there were more black families during Jim Crow. The black family and the black business thrived more than what it does today. Because once you slap black owned on your business, like you're basically committing business suicide at that point. Because you just want to be proud of being a black owner of a business. That basically puts a stranglehold on your business because other ethnicities think that, well, I can't shop here because it's only for black people. When that's never the case for a Walmart, Best Buy, whatever white owned company that we spend our dollars at, that's never being looked at. Of which, when it comes to doing your part as a black person to contribute to a black business, you should. Of which, you should be doing other black owned companies other than a barbershop or beauty salon, and nail techs if you have a black owned nail business where it's a bunch of black women and gay black men doing nails in there, or facials, or what do they call that, string eyebrow shit, where they, like, it's, other than that, like, there's there was what was the statistic that I heard this week, that it was like 90 black owned banks, and now it, like, back during Jim Crow or before Jim Crow or something like that. And then up until now, there's only like 8 to 16 black owned banks. It's like, how the fuck did we get here? So, you know what I mean? Just know, Democrats, y'all niggas better answer to some of this shit. Just in illegal immigration, illegal immigrants are blocking traffic in New York City, demanding the end of immigration and customs enforcement. Is that one kid, or I kid you? Oh, I kid you not. We live in clown world. This is them protesting. Of which, this week, Biden took another page out of Trump's book and said that he is going to put a stranglehold on this migrant situation, this immigration situation. Something that Biden did during his presidency. Biden said that he's going to do the same as well. I kid y'all not. Like, the shit writes itself. Holy shit, the insane trend continues. Before I get into this, along with common items being bought at grocery stores being sky high, housing is sky fucking high now as well. Now, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and I told her, I said, I'm looking for another apartment or whatever, like, and with the prices, like, I might as well just stay where I'm at. But I said, if the housing market crashes, and it's looking a little gloomy over there in the housing market, I said, as soon as the housing market crashes, that's when I'm gonna buy my house. I said, because the demand for it's gonna be down, so the prices are going to lower. So once that happens, is when I'm going to look at buying a house. what does this say? Is that Ginger Capital or Geiger Capital? Holy shit! The insane trend continues. In just May, 414,000 immigrants, legal and illegal, gained a job. Meanwhile, 663,000 native-born Americans lost their jobs. Since pre-COVID, native-born workers have actually lost 2 million jobs. All of the net jobs gains are immigrants. So I'm guessing the red is immigrants and the blue is natural born citizens. That's crazy. What the hell is this? This is the true Israel. Man, this ain't got shit to do with nothing. They just beating somebody. It looks like some violence is about to happen, so let's get out of here. What else? I'm definitely not putting... Well, fuck it. I'm already here. I'm already here. Imagine fighting your way through Nazis in Viet Cong to preserve an idea of what could be, and living long enough to watch weak men throw it all away. This 100-year-old Marine did that. Let's see what he has.
Bitch about it. And people don't realize what they have. They bitch about it. And then nowadays, I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. It's just not it. And people don't.
Now that's sad to hear because, you know, this man got drafted into the Marines. You know what I'm saying? Like during the time of war, which World War II was the only war America injected ourselves into. Like to hear that, right? Because my grandfather, he's a veteran. He didn't go to war, but you know what I'm saying? He ain't go to war, but you know what I'm saying? The nigga's a veteran. So, yeah, I mean, but the only question that I usually have when, you know, these patriots are out here talking about, you know what I'm saying, like they're going over to this country to fight for our freedoms. And my whole thing is, why the hell did whomever put our freedoms on the crap table to gamble away? For these good men to have to leave their home to fight for an idea that is embedded into this country already. Like what's the basis of it? But that is sad that, you know what I mean, this man has lived for 100 years and is basically saying what people who are 50 to 60 to 70 years younger than him is saying. I'm saying it to you guys right now. Nazis are back in power and are taking their revenge, says Colombian President. Is it Gustav Petro? Gaza is their laboratory, but they won't stop until they make all of humanity into an enslaved robot. Powerful words. I hope it has an English dub.
Relativamente.
I guess not. So I'm gonna
El
stop.
fascismo está
Fascism is on the rise in the world.
ascendiendo en el
Tell me it's not so.
mundo. Y hay que llamarlo
And it must be called for what it is.
como es. Son
It's the Nazis who are back in power.
los nazis que vuelven al poder, que se vienen
They are coming to take revenge.
a vengar, que quieren hacer de la humanidad
They want to make humanity
un robot
into enslaved robots.
esclavizado, sin libertad.
Without freedom,
Hay un experimento
there is an experiment going
corriendo, usando a
using Gaza as their laboratory.
Gaza como su laboratorio. Los nazis
The Nazis practiced
lo practicaron en pequeño,
on a relative small scale.
Relativamente, y trataron
And they tried to exterminate the Jewish people.
de exterminar el pueblo judío y al pueblo
And the Soviet people.
soviético y a los pueblos
And the democratic peoples.
Los democráticos y a los socialistas
And the socialists and the communists.
y a los comunistas y a todo lo
And everything that seems different to them.
que les pareciera diferente. Y eso
And what Dolph proposed
eso que planteó Hitler es lo que se
is what is being applied in Gaza.
está aplicando en Gaza, pero como un experimento
But as an experiment for the world,
para el mundo. Las bombas
the bombs in Gaza are not
de
fired
Gaza no la disparan unos simples soldados
by
israelíes.
simple Israel soldiers.
Es un capital
Israeli soldiers. It is an enormous capital in the world.
enorme en el mundo,
Centralized and coordinated.
coordinado, que influye
Which influences the big governments.
en los grandes gobiernos, los nazis.
The Nazis are in power, which I've heard more than once. I even said it a few times on this show.
Están en el poder, haciendo
They are on the rise.
a través del capital financiero
Through financial capital,
logran
they managed to lead the U.S. government,
conducir el gobierno de los Estados Unidos, así sea
even if it calls itself a democratic government.
auto.
Ooh, a shot. That motherfucker threw a shot at the United States. Holy shit.
Denominadamente demócrata, con corrientes
With progressive currents,
progresistas, pero ese progresismo juvenil, negro, árabe,
Arab, diverse and Latino progressivism
diverso, latino que hay allí,
that exists, come on,
latino que hay allí,
that exists in the United States
no logra
is not able to change the will of the state,
cambiar la voluntad del Estado, que sigue ayudando a
which continues to help fire the
disparar las
bombs.
bombas. Y no ocurre en
And this is not happening in Europe either.
Europa. Después de
After so many workers struggle
tantas luchas obreras y revoluciones
and socialist and democratic revolutions,
socialistas y democráticas, la misma Europa
Europe itself is surrounding the Nazis.
se entrega
Surrendering to the Nazis.
a los nazis.
Whew. Now I hope that he doesn't become no longer with us before he's supposed to be no longer with us.
Bruh.
I'm just saying, all right? Cause saying that could get a motherfucker assassinated. That's all I'm saying. And that was the Colombian president saying that. Now here's Putin. How could they celebrate D-Day with Ukrainian neo-Nazis? Now that's Putin saying that now.
Стал почета и делает... Я думаю, что...
Hold on. Motherfucker talking fast.
Я думаю, что
I'm thinking that
там руководство сегодняшнее Украины будет присутствовать. Вы послушайте меня. Как можно праздновать такую серьезную дату в борьбе с нацизмом с теми, кто
neo-Nazis on an honorary pedestal and makes them national heroes.
неонацистов возводит на пьедестал почета и делает национальными героями. Вот сегодняшний символ
Here's today's symbol of
украинской государственности
Ukrainian statehood in Banter.
Это Бандера. Но он был одним из основных сподвижников Гитлера на территории Восточной Европы. Это именно
Exactly by the hands of Banderites.
руками бандеровцев расстреливались
Thousands, not only Russian, Poles, but also Jews were shot.
Тысячи, не только русских и поляков, но и евреев.
Basically, in a nutshell, Putin saying, how the fuck is
Я думаю, что там руководство
in the United States that's running their country right now, propping up the neo-Nazis over in Ukraine, giving them money, giving them weapons to fight a war that didn't have to be fought in the first place. All that Ukraine had to do was surrender their territories to us. But since they were secretly in the running to become part of NATO, then that's what forced my hand. So at the end of the day, Putin's basically saying Biden's regime is holding up neo-Nazis, the very people of which the United States fought on D-Day. Nigga, I'm cooking right now. Alex Soros says Democrats should refer to Trump as a convicted felon at every opportunity. I think we should remind everybody that George Soros pretended to be a Gentile during World War II to help the Nazis steal stuff from Jews every chance we get. Do y'all remember that speech that, and her name's blanking on me right now, but if y'all remember the movie Inside Man, the movie that Denzel did with it was a Spike Lee joint. It was Denzel Washington, Clive Owen, some assorted array of characters, and the chick that played in Silence of the Lambs, I forgot her name. But in that movie, towards the end, she goes into the men's bathroom in, I guess, Grand Central Station in New York, while this banker, or the owner of this big bank in New York that was a part of the robbery or whatever that was taking place. Not only was Denzel a part of the whole thing, but that owner of that bank was a part of it as well. He sold his people out. But what she was saying was that he sold his people out, the Jewish people in Germany back when the Holocaust was going on. So she basically scalded him because she was like, "You're still up to your old tricks." You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to your business was kind of going under. You played your hand like this to make it as if that this was a hit to your bank, and you would, nothing would come of this. But she basically told him, "You're in this. You're basically a part of all of this, just like you were back in the day when your people were being slaughtered." So, what is being said here in this post is basically that George Soros sold his people out, the Jewish community, during the Holocaust. Man, nigga, nigga. All right, I'll do one more of these. Let's see. Epic 105-year-old World War II veteran sergeant. So okay, that's not important. That's cute. Let's see. What's this? Muhammad Shahada. Muhammad Shahada said, "That child we killed would have grown up to become a terrorist." Was literally the Nazis' excuse in the Nuremberg trials. This from Otto. I'm not even going to try to attempt to say the last motherfucker's name. Commander of the Eisenstagruppe D. Sounds awfully familiar. Question: will you explain to the tribunal what? Oh, let me see if I can blow this up. Will you explain to the tribunal what conceivable threat to the security of the we Wehrmacht, a child constitute in young judgment? The children would grow up and surely, being the children of parents who had been killed, they would constitute a danger no smaller than that of the parents. Basically stating that what the guy stated, that these kids will grow up become terrorists just like their parents, but you give them no choice. Like I don't understand this jump to judgment. We killed these kids, or as my ex's cousin, he when he was over in the Middle East, he said that he had to kill a child simply because, I mean, that was the order to give. I mean, that was the order that was given to him, that he had to kill the kid. And me, okay, so me looking back at it, when he told me that, I was like, well, damn, you had to do what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But thinking back on it, it's like the kid would have had no choice if he would have grown up to become a part of whatever terrorist group that we say is a terrorist group. Because the United States been fucking with the Middle East for what? 60, 70 years now? So it's like it's like not being able to see the fruits of your labor. That's what it comes down to. You live in a country where you have nothing. So who do you think these people are angry at? It's the people that's doing them the harm, that they can't be able to thrive in their country So you fault the child and kill a child because your thoughts is he's going to grow up to terrorize somewhere else or us or whatever. That's the reason why we killed that child. But the way I look at it now is like you give those kids and the kids now who are probably, part of Hamas or whatever, like those kids have no choice now. Like, you're slaughtering my people. You slaughtered my people. So when I grow up and become a big strong man or or whatever, I'm going to have to take over this terrorist group to inflict the harm back of what you inflicted on my family. Like okay. It's like being young and you root for Spider-Man, but then you grow up and then you realize that, well, the bad guy has a plausible reason of why the fuck he's doing what he's doing, as well. He was hurt in some sort of way economically, or financially, or economically, or personally, or whatever. He has no choice but to take revenge. Just like Batman. Batman, you know what I mean? Like, his parents was killed in cold blood simply because the Court of Owls felt as though that since they were not doing what they were being told, they had to go. It's like, well, if you're not going to do this, well, we got to do this to you. Like, it's out of the cards now. Like, you played your hand. Of which, when Bruce grew up, he became Batman and said, I am vengeance. I am the knight. I will fight in the right of good than evil. And I will take down anybody that stands in my way or is a part of the criminal underworld. So it starts to make sense after a while. All right, let's get off of this. Alex Jones. Now, this story is fucking crazy. What is this?
Government officials. One of the things you've been talking about on your show is your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
You mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
Oh!
One of the things you've been talking about.
Let's see. So Alex Jones is being forced to liquidate his assets to pay off $1.5 billion Sandy Hook judgment. The father of a Sandy Hook elementary school shooting victim, right before going on the news, notice anything strange? This massive judgment sends a message to not question the narrative.
Statement looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone. So we'll listen up.
Okay. So my name's Robbie Parker. My
Statement looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone. So
I don't understand the strange part about it. Okay, let's keep going. InfoWar on the edge. Alex Jones gives a bankruptcy update.
Doing everything the last minute
Because I'm a gunner with overwhelming enemies coming in the info war. That's an analogy. I'm not saying a literal gunner. They'll spin that and say I'm saying I'm going to gun them. I'm a gunner knowing we're all dead anyway, so I'm just trying to save my family behind me, and I'm just ramming ammunition and going to the last minute. We attacked to the last minute.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show.
They don't want money. They sit on the courthouse steps. You've seen the lawyers, the groups. They want to silence me. I didn't do anything that they said. They had PR firms. They made up all this supposed stuff I said, defaulted me, then had fake show trials. This is all on record. People just were like, wait, he's already guilty, but they're having a fake trial run by HBO. Yeah, it was a movie set. Okay, this is on record. But people are just like, well, we're still a free country. That's not happening. No, it's happening. You saw what happened to Trump. Though some higher courts have been blocking it because it's so flagrant. And then they get attacked. They're talking about, packing the Supreme Court, putting like 10 more in. They're all Democrats. I mean, this is going on. They're threatening them. But these rather lower courts, blocking them. But I'm almost done. We'll go to your Spaces comments. But everybody wants to know about this, so I'm going to finish up. So then I talked to not just my lawyers, but a bunch of others, super high-powered top names. And they said, listen, when it gets kicked back by the judge giving it back to you, Judge Guerra in the news saying, we'll just take it over and padlock it with a restraining order. So we have the hearing the 14th. He gives me the company back, and probably like the next Wednesday, we're closed. So in the final moves here in a chess game where they're going to put me in checkmate, and I've got a few moves to run just to keep getting word out, keep transmitting, getting the word out, doing everything the last minute, because I'm a gunner with overwhelming enemies coming in the info war. That's an analogy. I'm not saying a literal gunner. They'll spin that and say I'm saying I'm going to gun them. I'm a gunner knowing we're all dead anyway, so I'm just trying to save my family behind me, and I'm just ramming ammunition and going to the last minute. We attacked to the last minute, okay? So I did that to buy some time because they'd already filed to put us into Chapter 7. They didn't want that before. The CIA, FBI groups running the whole attack on me that's now come out in court and it's all on record and whistleblowers and everything else. So before I was going to sit there and see, well, maybe I get the company back, then I try to recuse Guerra and fight that. That wasn't going to work. So, and then they filed, but notice the news didn't say anything about it because that was a tactic to make me negotiate and settle, to give into their demands, to let them run the company, to make me their slave, to control what I say. That's what it's always about. That's what it was about in high-rise, 50-story buildings, in D.C. 6 years ago, where I went and met with not these people, but the people that run them. And I'm in there with the top Democrats and all of them and the top representatives of the man at the time in the world who was the richest man in the world. That's why they got pissed when I said this over the weekend. Because, I can say the names and everything, though I have these meetings and never do, unless it's something criminal that I'm forced to say it. They were very, very, a little guarded about it, but, they were like, well, if you just, stop what you're doing and whatever, we'll give you, this much money for a free speech foundation, on and on. So I started talking about that, and that's when it was like, it's over, we're done, we just want him shut down. So they had already filed, but notice it wasn't in the news, the Chapter 7 liquidation. They had filed that they were intending to file it at the 14th. So I just said, well, let's just get ahead of what you're doing, and I'll do it, and then I'll kick it into the federal courts, and then I'll tell the judge what's going on, and I'll tell the receiver they bring in that, hey, we can give the crew severance pay and sell out the products in here and stay on the air a few months to be classy, but I'm going to tell the judge, you watch, they don't want all the money they can get from the millions and millions and millions of dollars of product and advertising to do this, because they don't want money. But I'm going to tee it all up so in the future when they say, Jones wouldn't pay us money, Jones wouldn't do any of this, Jones has got $280 million or $4 million, all these lies that are in the news again today, there'll be a record of every single bit of all of this and the true history of what happened here. So I'm down to my last moves on this, and that's where we are. But if you type in Alex Jones, those that have followed the case, and you look at national news, CNN, all the fake news, you see different stories because they can't figure out. Even CNN's Oliver Darcy, the sidekick of Brian Stelter, said, well, it's very confusing. We don't know what's going on, but InfoWars is over. There's shooters with him. And then other people go and question it. It becomes a huge story. We cover it some, have a few debates about it, move on, don't talk about it for years and years and years. Then
he's basically just gone over how he got into the spot of where he's at, basically. So Dom Lucre says breaking news: Alex Jones announced that he is suing the CIA and FBI after a CIA agent. This was in April. I went over that already. Okay, let's see. So if you guys don't know what's going on, hold on. This tells it all right here.
At the end of the day, we're going to beat these people. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's been a hard fight. These people hate our children. Just take more calls. Go ahead. There's the next person. The end of the
So, okay, if you guys don't know anything about Alex Jones, so Alex Jones, when the whole Sandy Hook thing happened, he made some comments about it. And then his some of his employees who were there the night he spoke about it were on like the sideline saying, "Yo, chill the fuck out. Stop. Stop." So then the next day's broadcast, he came back and he apologized for it. So years down the line comes, he talks about it again, but the way he talked about it was more so like, it wasn't like matter of factly. It was kind of like he kind of was trying to put certain puzzle pieces to certain places to understand if it because he said it kind of sort of looked like a psyop in a way, to where that's when they got him. It was like, oh, he wants to talk crazy, but we're gonna hit him with a defamation suit, of which I believe you have to say the people's names verbatim in order, not verbatim, but like you have to say their names in order for it to be a defamation lawsuit, of which I think that never happened. He never named any of the children by name. He just spoke about the whole ordeal. And that's where we're at today. So, yeah. So, yeah, Alex Jones to liquidate assets to pay off $1.5 billion in Sandy Hook judgment, of which that is the GDP of France, if you guys don't know. This man doesn't have 1.5, so not only are they going to be taking his assets, they're going to take his homes. Well, home is an asset. They're going to be taking his home, his business, and whatever else they feel as though is redeemable for his actions. Um, oh, this is new. Man City. Hold on. Let's get into this. I'm seated to see how she'll make this about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Jaguar Wright arrested in Dallas for allegedly failing to return a U-Haul truck, claims it's a plan to silence her. So Jaguar Wright got taken into custody. It's what I gotta watch. Storm Monroe. I need to see what his take is about this. It's wild because she was going to get picked up. Hold on. She was going to go pick up Tupac's masters and publishing paperwork from Suge Knight's uh except wife. I mean ex-wife. The U-Haul documents said she had 72 hours, but the company is 15% owned by Solange. So the Carters interview. Hold on. intervene on the interstate, and Tyler Perry is after her. Y'all niggas is crazy, yo. All right, is that all? That okay? So, they didn't come drive the U-Haul back for her, and it's all Rock Nation's fault. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. Rock Nation planted the truck so they can capture her. Jay-Z's best friends with the man who owns U-Haul. Okay, let's get out of here. What else is up? Okay, that's a little iffy. So let me take that off. Is it taking off? It's not taking off. Let's see. Did you know who used to say Jay-Z and R. Kelly? Yes, someone's video was shot on their first. I didn't know that. All right.
Only a baby, 4 years old. But I'm going to tell this story. It was this gangster, right? He said, when you go there, kill the father and kill his son. And the guy said, his son is only a baby, 4 years old. He said, his father was a rat and he going to grow up to be a rat too. It ain't no way that he going to go down, you understand, and not take nobody with him. His father was murdered because he ratted out his team that he was working for. So you think he not gonna rat? Like father, like son, brother.
Which that's the reason why Diddy's dad got shot. He got shot in his head at that, but he snitched. He was a close friend of Frank Lucas, of which we probably could say that Frank Lucas put the hit out on him.
That's what I believe.
Wow, man. I didn't know that. So Diddy dad was a rat?
My man, I had a conversation with New York Freddie. Omar took me to a meeting because New York Freddie wanted to talk to me. He said, yo, I've been trying to get in touch with Russell Simmons and I've been trying to get in tough touch with Puff because I wanted to tell him the true story about his father. You understand? I said, yeah. And now this is New York Freddie, one of the biggest gangsters in Harlem. Puff father used to work for his team. He was brought in by one of his best friends. So he's telling me the story how Russell Simmons used to work for him. You understand? He said, Russell Simmons used to take my laundry, to the cleaners and everything. He said, I had a glass table with $1 million in my office. I had $1 million in a glass table, you know what I'm saying? Of $100 bills in a glass table. I said, yeah. He's telling me this whole stuff. He said, Russell Simmons used to work for me because I was starting a record label back then. I said, okay. And if you look up New York Freddie Myers, you can see when he was picked up with a whole lot he had stacks of money in his house in the basement in Mount Vernon.
Which is stupid. Gangsters, please quit doing this dumb shit. Please quit hiding money at your house. Don't even hide it at your mother's house, because they go in there too. Go try and hide it at like a family member that you don't fuck with. That is trustworthy at that. Go to a family member you don't fuck with and be like, hey, I need you to hold something. Can you put it in your attic or can I bury it in your backyard? And then let bygones be bygones. Now, if you come back and see that that money's been taken, then you do what you gotta do. But other than that, quit fucking with hide money in your house and hide it in immediate families' homes. Because when the feds go to rages shit or the state goes to rages shit, they also go for your family member's house, or they bring your family members in and they ask questions. So
he said to me, he said, yo, we had cops on the payroll. He gave a cop one of the cops brought information. He had the paperwork and he had Puff father take confession. He gave him $10,000 extra for it, right? Puff father told on their operation. New York Freddie told the guy who brought Puff father into his crew,
called the hit out on.
you got to handle it.
Exactly.
I want it handled. So then he said, I want it handled. So now the dude handled the situation. Puff father was driving the cab. He met him on Central Park West and did what he did. And so I said to New York Freddie, I said, yeah. He said, and the guy who killed him was carrying the casket, crying the hardest at the funeral. I was like, oh. Now, check this out. I was going to tell this story on my members only page on my YouTube channel, The Gene Deal Show. Only my members, hey, but I'm going to give it to you. It's this lady that told me she was dating Puff father at the time. Right? She was dating Puff father at the time. She said she was waiting on him because they were supposed to be going out to Smalls Paul. It was either Small Paul, she said, or it was this place up there on McCoon's Bridge. I got it because she texted this whole thing to me, bro. It's crazy how she texted me this whole story. She said that she never knew why Puff father was killed. He said the word got through Harlem that he was murdered. You understand? And she went up to the bar the next day, and the same that he worked with him, sold drugs with him, New York Freddie and their whole crew, he said they was in the bar laughing and talking like nothing had ever happened. She said, thank you, Gene, for telling me that story about New York Freddie and Diddy father, because now I know what happened to him. So Melvin Combs was a rat. And these guys, this came from a gangster himself, you understand, who said he had police on the payroll.
Crazy. And they had Diddy Dad on tape telling?
He said they brought him the tape and the written statement. And then Puff father was asked by the dude why he told. He said he had to go to a wedding and he didn't want to miss it. I swear for living Jesus, man, that's crazy. And that was told to me by New York Freddie.
That's crazy. I have wanted to expose Jay-Z for a long time, but I also wanted to get to 1 million followers. So, which means you didn't really have shit. So, did y'all see that Jay-Z's private jet visited a lot of cartel hotspots in Mexico and Colombia? At Elon Musk, why did you delete that and not the porn bots? Not the porn bots that follow me every day. And then Ty says, yeah, a political operative tweeted exposing Jay-Z's private jet flight log, and he was going to Honduras, and how you say that? Chihuahua? I don't know. Mexico and other various cartel hotspots. Multiple, and when I say multiple, I mean multiple times. But in a matter of minutes, the whole thread was deleted. Damn, that means that Jay-Z still out here selling that crack rock. You know what I mean? All right. So, is there a way I can refresh this? There's no way I can refresh this. So, see what's on trending before we get out of here. Broner, that shit was crazy what he said. Rizzo. Dodgers. I think this is all sports at this point. It's all the same shit. All right, that's all the same shit. All right, y'all. Well, I had fun. Let me check my bookmarks to see if I missed anything.
If you're really committed to being a racist in this country, you can't unsee what I'm about to show you. You might want to start checking Amazons for blankets because this gas furnace behind me, you don't get to have one of those either because that was invented by a black woman named Alice Parker around 1920. She received a patent on it. Yeah, that's how we stay warm today. I mean, if you love potato chips, they got to go because a man named George Crumb, a chef in New York, had sent French fries out with a meal and a customer complained. So what did Mr. Crumb do? He sliced potatoes so thin, fried them up, dumped a bunch of salt on them, and sent them out. And that is the American delight of potato chips. They got to go. Here in the bathroom, Lotta Newman patented the first hairbrush with synthetic bristles in 1898, and she's just the third Black American woman to ever receive a patent. Now, I know this isn't going to affect those skinheads very much. In 1892, George Sampson of Dayton, Ohio, received patent number 476,416 for what is the forerunner of the modern dryer we use today. It's going to suck drying your clothes outside. In the late 1880s, Samuel Scotron of Pennsylvania patented the curtain rod. Ooh, let's go piss off some white girls. It's going to be really hard to plan racist rallies without a color monitor. Invented by Mark Dean, an engineer at IBM, he is also on 3 of the original 9 patents of the IBM PC that came out in 1981. Did you know in 1897, Albert Crowell in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, developed the mechanized ice cream scoop. You know, the click, click that separates the ice cream from the spoon, changing the way ice cream is served. And if you're racist and an ice cream lover, it's going to get worse.
Well,
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Augustus Jackson, the father of ice cream, pioneered many of the methods we have today to enjoy ice cream, including the way we salt it. Another thing about being a racist, you're going to have to give up the freezer and frozen foods because Frederick McKinley Jones of Ohio, who was orphaned at 9 years old with a 6th grade education, a young biracial boy, grew up to invent Thermo King, which is the reason why we have frozen foods that are shipped and stored in stores and our homes. You got to give up ice cream and frozen pieces? So if you still want to be a racist, there are some things you're going to need to purge from your life. If you would, just put it out on the curb. I'll send some trucks around to pick it up, and we'll go give it to real Americans who really need it. Have a great day.
the more you know. It's hard being racist. Black inventors and their inventions. Y'all can go and try to look for that. I'm not going to go over that right now. But tidbit, some black inventors weren't able to patent some of their inventions, some during slavery times. And so when you see a white man's name, most times when you see a white man's name next to a patent of something, usually it was because a black man made the product, but since he couldn't patent the product, the white man had to do it himself. So that's where we start seeing white names in patent offices and shit like that. in certain documents. Excuse me. And racists are gonna have to drive through in traffic because the traffic light was made by a black person. So it's gonna be a whole lot of crazy shit going on. I wanted to play this earlier.
Shameful and frightening. Really can't.
So let me set it up. So there was a teacher that was doing her OnlyFans in her classroom. So this is a press conference of I believe this man is part of the Nation of Islam, but this lady, I believe she's campaigning to be mayor of, I want to say Dallas, but I'm not sure. But this is the press conference of the aftermath of what happened with the teacher.
Make this stuff.
Because I believe the teacher was fired, and I believe the teacher also she made like several like OnlyFans posts, and she's not great to look at. So
Stuff up. It is absolutely appalling, shameful, and frightening that these are the type of educators that are in an elementary school teaching our children. But now we got a teacher in the classroom on school hours, stripping down butt naked, bending over, and showing everything on the video, and all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair. This is a disgrace and a shame that this is the type of educator and teacher that is in
she couldn't help herself either.
in the classroom. And she made multiple videos. Yes, the district was unaware until we brought this to their attention. If she would do this in the classroom, what else will she do? This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she's about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties, spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's on the video. Spreads her cheeks. This is madness. This woman should never, ever be allowed to be an educator. This woman should never be allowed to work around children ever again. And I believe that if a thorough investigation takes place, you can find something criminally to bring her into a courtroom for, because I've seen law enforcement put parents in courtrooms for far much less than this. If we can put Donald Trump in the courtroom and find something to prosecute him for, don't tell me we can't find something to prosecute this woman for. This is sad. This is madness. This is filth at its finest.
Period. You know, this is not a place for that. You do not sexualize our children. You don't come with that sexualized type behavior on any type of school campus. You keep that mess in your bedroom. So like I said, your porn days is over, sis. You're doing too much.
Well, her porn days ain't over because she has to lean on her OnlyFans now instead of her her being an educator. I'll keep that. I'm gonna play that at the end. Let me get rid of this. I don't want to go too far down. That's next. Oh, okay. So, someone posted this video on Twitter last week. It says Black American Family Annual Cookout 1993. The significance of this video is that I am in it. I am in it, and my uncle is operating the camera. I will stop it where I am at. You see that kid right there? In the red? That's me. This is my cousin Smitty's annual barbecue he used to hold back in the day. This was the first one I had ever been to. I was, 6 years old? No, I was 4. Yeah, I was 4. Hold on, let me see. I was 5. All right, so I was 5, and I didn't know anybody there because my mom would go to these barbecues. She wouldn't take us, so I was just standing there because most of these people are my family, and I'm just sitting there looking at these crazy motherfuckers like, what the hell? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, I was a shy kid at the same time. As you can see, I'm not participating. So this is me right here, and my uncle's operating the camera. So as you can see, annual family cookout, Middletown, Delaware, 1993. So I was there.
Продолжение.
No, I won't. No. All right, so let's go to the last part. So, people, if y'all are ever late getting to work, play this song, cause it's it's gonna hype you up during the drive.
You're late to work. Who gives a fuck? It's your life, bitch. Fuck you, boss. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch. Late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. You gonna fire me? That's cute. Late. 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 Ah.
Yeah, play that shit on your drive to work. That concludes the main topic of the night. But real quick, I have something for you guys. So
Get mad at
this mom, and I'm highly offended by what she told her son. So I'm gonna let the video play, then I'll give my commentary afterwards.
my son gonna get mad and storm out to Carly. He on the phone fussing at his girlfriend. Ain't got $1 in the bank. I said, girl, you ain't got a lot of broke niggas be on the phone telling you what to do. He done got at the car, slammed the door, talking about I can't tell my girlfriend what to do. Not when you broke, nigga. Girl, you ain't gotta listen to no broke nigga telling you what to do. Hey, go ahead and hang up on him. Flat. It ain't even a flip phone. I don't care. Flip it. Flat. Hey, I ain't gotta listen to nothing that you say. I'm the one that's buying you a new shirt. Child. He done got mad at me and talking about why you gotta say these things. This is why I don't want to talk on the phone around you, because why would you say that to my girlfriend? She does need to listen to me. She ain't gotta listen to no broke nigga. I don't care who. Listen, my son or not. You ain't gotta listen to this nigga. Ain't even got no money. Please. He asking you for stuff and then want to tell you what to do. I wish you would ask me for something and then you want to tell me what to do. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
All right, let's go back through that again.
My son gonna get mad and storm out to Carly. He on the phone fussing at his girlfriend. Ain't got $1 in the bank. I said, girl, you ain't got a lot of broke niggas be on the phone telling you what to do.
Oh, so you learned from your mistake when you was dating his father. Okay, let's keep going.
He done got at the car, slammed the door, talking about I can't tell my girlfriend what to do. Not when you broke, nigga. Girl, you ain't gotta listen to no broke nigga telling you what to do.
Now, for a mother to tell her son this shit, right? Every single mother tells us to their son that you have to have money in order to be in love. Now, you do have to have money, but money shouldn't be the main focus of a relationship. But let's keep going.
Hey, go ahead and hang up on him, Black. It ain't even a flip phone. I don't care. Flip it, Black. Hey, I ain't gotta listen to nothing that you say.
So this comes with this whole, female empowerment shit that, girl, you ain't gotta be with no nigga because niggas ain't shit, blah, 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 blah. And this is the reason why this whole black man and woman gender wars happening right now, because this fucked up information that she's given not only her son but somebody else's child about relationships. Now, does she have a boyfriend? We don't know this, but let's say that she doesn't, because I know that she doesn't with an attitude like that. So it's the blind leading the blind at this point. That doesn't make any sense at all. So you telling the girl, don't listen to my son because he broke, but you're only telling her that because you learned from your mistake with his father, because he was probably a broke nigga that you was buying shit for, just like he got his girlfriend doing. In certain circumstances, some people will call that pimping.
The one that's buying you a new shirt. Child, he done got mad at me and talking about, why are you gotta say these things? This is why I don't want to talk on the phone around you, because why would you say that to my girlfriend? She doesn't need to listen to me.
Now, son, honestly, to be honest, to her son, that's not your girlfriend. That's everybody's pussy, because until you're out on your own and you got a place of your own, there's no such thing as girlfriends when you're in middle or high school. That is your friend. You don't get girlfriends until you leave school. What you're doing is you're practicing in being in a relationship. That's what you're doing. Now, is what his mother's saying fucked up? Is very fucked up, because she feels as though she needs to tell her son this because she ain't got nobody to hold her at night, because she goes to bed in a cold ass bed every night next to a myriad of pillows. I'm pretty sure she got 1,000 fucking pillows on her bed.
She ain't gotta listen to no broke nigga. I don't care who. Listen.
Now, what she just did was she probably motivated her son when he gets a little older, when he's in high school and he's able to work. You just turned your son into a workaholic. Not only did you turn your son into a workaholic, he's probably going to go to college. He's going to probably research what is the highest grossing field or whatever to get into, which is probably between like a doctor, a lawyer, a rocket scientist or something. And he's probably going to crack down and start studying harder than what he's done before. And he's probably taking these words that his mother's given him, and he's going to apply it at the end of the day. So, his mom says you need money in order to sustain a relationship. He's going to get into a high grossing field, of which, if he's probably, by this point, he's probably listening to Fresh and Fit at this point.
My son or not, you ain't gotta listen to this nigga. Ain't even got no money. Please, he asking you for stuff and then want to tell you what to do. I wish you would ask me for something.
It's called reciprocity. If he has it and he gives it, then he probably, if he gives and he asks, hey, you think you can get me a shirt or something? She gets her a shirt, she gets him a shirt. He probably gonna get her something. Like, he probably has the right idea of what a relationship is that he has this idiot raising him.
You want to tell me what to do? But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Anyway, that concludes tonight's random topics portion of the night. I hope you guys had fun tonight, because I did. So with that being said, I'm gonna get y'all on out of here. And if there's anyone in the audience who wants to come up, you can come up now as I'm wrapping the show up, and we can go from there. So let's see. What the hell am I doing right now? Oh, show summary. So we spoke about the guy who had that famous court trial that went viral this past week, and we now find out that he never had a license. So he was on a suspended license, was able to get the shit processed through to where he could drive again. But then the judge found out that he never had a license in the state of Michigan or anywhere else in the country. So, as I said, it's only going to take about 4 to 4.5 months to get everything squared away so he can get his license. But he probably doesn't want to take that initiative to do that. So whatever. Then I spoke on the whole the cookie plug, the hip hop cookie shop, of people thinking that it's culture vulture or it's culture appropriation, when we found out that LL Cool J has a stake in the company. So for what's his name, Fee Phillips, to say that drugs and hip hop aren't synonymous, then I think you should go back into your hip hop and find shit out about hip hop and the influence of drugs on hip hop. Not just in the 80s, but in the 70s when it was created. You need to do your research. This is a motherfucker there's probably a motherfucker who started listening to hip hop when he was like 6 years old and thinks that he knows everything about hip hop. Fuck out of here. Then we talked about the Trump verdict and how it was all a sham, and possibly it could be a mistrial because of some juror's cousin saying that he heard that the judge was going to unanimously say that Trump was guilty in the first place. So now we have that to go off of with that breaking news that just came out today. Then with the main topic, we just went into Twitter. We just deep dived in the trending topics on Twitter, and I had fun doing that. I might do that again. So not anytime soon, but when I'm like not like trying to talk about anything, I'll just do another one like this because I like doing this. So yeah, then we get into the lady with the real quick segment that she's trying to teach her son how to be a good boyfriend, but at the same time she's making herself look like a jackass at the same time. So women, if you are a mother, stay the fuck off of social media with your child rearing tactics, because it's making you look foolish out here. All right, y'all, let me get you guys out of here. So yeah. So peeps, every Friday I do this here podcast. You can catch me at 8 p.m. every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you come on through, come and check me out, because I never disappoint. I only took a week off last week because I had graduations to go to. I'm back at it again, so hopefully this summer we get some juicy shit this summer, because I ain't got nothing planned this summer, but you know what I'm saying, for the channel, but I'm just doing the whole rigmarole as usual. So let's do this. Once you have subscribed to this here channel, do it now. Please do it now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to all. Once you did that, please go into my description box of any of my videos that you check out afterwards. Go into the description box. Hit the Rumble link. If you don't have Rumble, download it. Download Rumble, and then that'll put me to where I need to be so I can start streaming over on Rumble. If you ever want to come up and come talk to me, you can. There's always a link pinned in the live chat. So make sure you guys you help me out with that. Come up and talk to me, debate, argue, fill me in, whatever you feel as though is necessary, you can come on up. But please be respectful and follow my rules, which are: rule number 1 is you must be on camera at all times. That means here on the backstage. Once you hit that link, hit your camera and your microphone, and then I'll go from there. If you don't want to be on camera, and that means to the public, that doesn't mean in my my backstage. Like this some motherfucker Javier was back in my backstage before I even got in here. I don't know what the fuck he thought he could do back here, but he was sadly mistaken. But yeah, make sure that if you don't want to be on camera to the public, there's a question back here I would like for you to answer. Please leave your answer and your name, and I will accommodate you from there. And the last rule is please mute all background noise. Use corded headphones if you can, and make sure that you're in a nice secluded spot so we can have our conversation. And then lastly, what I have for you guys is basically this. Like this video, subscribe if you're new here, comment in the comment section once this video is done, and please share this to your social medias and friends and family. So people, with that being said, I have some words of wisdom for you, and that is focus on getting to the money, because we all know money makes the world go around. Save your money. Put it in a high interest savings account. Don't just leave it in your savings account. Get a high interest savings account. Do a CD as well. You know what I'm saying? That's good for 3 months to 5 years, and you can accumulate some money like that. Hell, if you want to get some bonds, do some bonds as well. You know, get your money up. You know what I'm saying? It's 2024. We don't know what the fuck's happening after. Well, I'll leave that for another time. Also, if you could, people, please drink more water. Coconut water, mineral water, alkaline water. Just get hydrated. You know what I'm saying? Take your supplements, your vitamins, and all kinds of other shit like that. Mind your own damn business for mental health purposes, because when you're paying attention to everybody else, you're not paying attention to yourself. And if you don't believe a damn thing I said tonight, do your own research. Helps you out in the long run. I have been Marcus. This has been Marcus Speaks Live. People, I thank y'all for watching. I'll check you guys out next week. Peace out, y'all.